It's been nearly 3 weeks since the Jaguars last played a basketball game, with 2 games in Mesa, Arizona canceled and the All-Star break last weekend. 19 days off has allowed the team to regroup before a bustling schedule through the end of April and May. Tonight in the Willamette Valley, the Jaguars face the Grant County Red Tails, a team they just played in their last home game 19 days ago. The Red Tails sit at second in the TBL West Conference, and after scrapping out a 3-point win on Tuesday, have proved they can hang in a tightly contested conference. Tonight, they face the Jaguars, who are looking to get their first win against the Grant County Red Tails and second win overall this season. Welcome in to TBL TV. My name is Isaac Doobie. Joined with me is Devlin Christensen on TBL TV and Next Move Radio. Ashley Davidson on the sideline will join us in just a moment. And Devlin, this Jaguars team just saw this Red Tails team 3 weeks ago before this 2-week break that I just mentioned, but this team has changed quite a bit. This Red Tails team has changed a lot throughout the season, and we'll talk about that a bit later, but they have a new head coach in Elijah Macon, who's just hired before last weekend, so already some changes, even though the Jaguars just faced this team a few weekends ago.
And in the TBL, a league that is ever-changing, a new head coach can mean a lot of different things for a team like that, but when you bring in a guy like Elijah Macon that played at the highest collegiate level, spending 3 years at Western Virginia, and a guy that played in the Sweet 16, the highest level of collegiate competition, that can make a big difference for a team like this.
And we send it to our third member of our crew in Ashley Davidson, who is not standing by. We will hold on Ashley and wait until to get to her afterward. But starters have been announced for the Red Tails. It's the only 5 players that are currently here because their van broke down on the way here, so they only had one ride to take 5 people. It's Sarian McGee, Alante Gold, Denzel Smith, Solomon Muhammad, and Jalen Gibson on the floor to start this game for the Red Tails. And for the Jaguars, Ace Stevens, Tavion Johnson, Kevin Fletcher, Preston Whitfield, and Troy Mix Jr. Ashley Davidson, the third member of our crew, is awaiting on the sideline to tell us more about how this Jaguars roster has changed today.
You know, Isaac, the game time change isn't the only change that we're seeing in this game. Once again, we're seeing quite a bit of roster changes, starting with Micah Johnson Jr. is out on the injured reserve list, but with a Micah Johnson Jr. door closing, a nice Troy Mix Jr. window is opening. That's right, Troy Mix Jr. is back with the Jags this season, coming over from the Tri-City Sun Devils, and I spoke to him just a couple minutes ago. He said in the short time that he's been here, he's already feeling like he is back with family. And now, back to you, Isaac.
Thank you, Ashley. Troy Mix Jr. getting the start for the Jaguars in his first game back since last season, wearing number 12 in the right corner, but Fletcher trying to start first. Three's off the mark. It rolls out of bounds. It'll stay with the Jaguars, last touched by the Red Tails. So Troy Mix Jr., you look at his stats for the Willamette Valley Jaguars in 2025, played in 17 of 20 games, averaged 13.5 points per game, 4.5 rebounds per game, did a lot of the dirty work as one of the taller players on the squad. Zone defense early on for the Red Tails, as Preston Whitfield and Kevin Fletcher trying to carve it up. Here's a look for Kevin Fletcher. That doesn't fall. It's off the rim. Gold in transition goes right at Mix and lays it in, and the Red Tails are on the board first.
Well, the Red Tails love to get out in transition, and Alante Gold just looked comfortable to begin this game right there. It's something the Jaguars are going to want to try and keep him away from.
Tavion Johnson can't hit from the corner. On the other end, the Red Tails in transition, denied off the glass by Johnson. And then Fletcher throws it away, trying to find Whitfield down the floor.
Well, fired that one into an empty seat. Knocked it over. Good old Preston Whitfield helping that chair back up to its feet. But the first Jaguars turnover of the day.
And Alante Gold's getting on the board first for the Grant County Red Tails in his last game on March 29th against the Jaguars. Had 10 points, 4 rebounds in 33 minutes as they're discussing something on the floor. Like Kevin Fletcher had to have a discussion with the official there, but resume play. It's Gibson to lead the attack for the Red Tails. Pulls up long range 2. He splashes it down. The Red Tails out to a 4-0 lead. Johnson down low. Rolls one to Mix. Wide open jumper. Can't hit off the heel. And Smith snatches down the rebound.
Well, that one didn't fall, but that's exactly what the Red Tails don't want to let Troy Mix Jr. do, getting into the mid-range.
Wide open in transition, Solomon Muhammad. This Red Tails team, we've seen it the last 2 times they've played the Jaguars, Devlin. This team really likes to get out into transition and get as many fast break points as they can right away. Inside, Johnson with the one-handed flush.
Tavion Johnson packing that one home, but the creative find from Ace Stevens at the top of the key.
Gibson pulls up from 3. Can't hit, and Whitfield is there to corral the board. He'll put up a floater down the lane. Can't hit, but draws the foul. He'll head to the charity stripe for 2.
Well, I love that from Preston Whitfield, getting right into the lane and pushing the pace right there for the Jaguars. Their last couple shot attempts all came in that half-court set, so he's trying to play the Red Tails game and get out and running. Drew the contact there, and he's going to get 2 easy shots at the line.
Here's the 29-year-old Preston Whitfield, who just had a birthday not even a week ago on April 11th, so last Saturday. Best free throw shooter on the team, shooting over 80% on the year. Scored 20-plus points in each of the last 2 games. He gets on the board here as he connects on both attempts at the free throw line. Back to a 2-point game.
What's really impressed me about Whitfield's scoring ability was that those last 2 20-point performances both came off the bench. So he was a spark when they needed him off the bench, and now that he's getting that call up to the starting lineup, he's already put 2 on the board.
Meanwhile, there's the first turnover of the day for Grant County. Smith tried to find gold in the corner. As Fletcher, some space inside, rises up off the front of the rim. Rebound to the #1 draft pick in the TBL draft this year in Sari and McGee. Smith, long 2. Too strong. Rebound to Whitfield. Mix pulls up and hits from outside. Troy Mix Jr. Welcome back.
Troy Mix letting one fly from deep to get his first points back as a Jaguar, and boy, are the fans happy to have him.
McGee inside trying to go over Johnson. Offensive rebound to Smith. He goes off glass and gets it to fall. Now Whitfield behind the back. Craftsy move, spinning inside. Oh, how did he do it? Took on the entire defense and scored. And almost came up with a steal.
Preston Whitfield putting some spin on that one. It was just beautiful.
Now Denzel Smith in the spin cycle. And can't hit the shot, but draws the contact and the foul. Denzel Smith heads to the free throw line. 2 attempts coming for the 30-year-old small forward from Tarleton State.
So with that layup, Whitfield puts himself up to 4 points, most on the Jaguars so far. Obviously the first field goal made for him after those first 2 free throws, but I just love to see him getting to play his own game. He's been, doing anything that coach asks of him, but this time it seems like he's getting to initiate the offense to begin this one, and boy, it's working well for the Jaguars.
Now here's Denzel Smith, and he gives the Red Tails the lead right back. 10-9 the score. Just over 8 minutes to play in the first quarter. Fletcher finds Stevens. Now Mix attacks, finds Stevens again. He'll let it fly. Rolls off the rim. Gibson tracks it down. Smith cutting to the rack. He kicks it out, goal to three. Off the heel, Whitfield corrals the rebound. Quickly down the floor, taking no time, wide open, Ace Stevens, and a no-look pass for Preston Whitfield. And then he creates a turnover. Preston Whitfield is flying around the floor right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Preston Whitfield Show. He is doing anything and everything out on the floor right now. A no-look dime and then hustling back in transition is just anything a coach could dream of.
He's the second leading scorer on the team coming into this game, averaging over 19 points a game. And he gets it here. And he launches a three. It swirls out, and the rebound, it was tapped out of bounds by Smith. And no, it'll go the other way. It looked like Smith was the last one to touch it, but they say possession goes the other way. A tails ball. Smith directing traffic, defended by Whitfield, trying to lob for McGee, but it's too high. A few errant passes early for the Red Tails. Their third turnover of this first quarter.
So right now the Jaguars are getting really good looks. They're breaking the zone down comfortably and getting it to the middle of the floor. They just got to hit some of those jump shots.
Stevens gets Johnson's miss. And now Troy Mix Jr. leaves it short, and Gibson able to fight and win the battle for the rebound. Gold, quick trigger three, can't hit, and Smith there to clean up the trash and put it in. 12-11, Red Tails regain the lead. Johnson inside, Fletcher puts it up but can't hit, and Fletcher gets his own miss. Smothered underneath by the defense as it's slapped out of bounds by the Red Tails, and that'll be the first media timeout of this first quarter. Got a good back and forth game here in the first. 12-11, the score for the road team. And 6:23 left to go. We'll be right back on TBL TV and Next Move Radio. Back on TBL TV and Next Move Radio. The Jaguars re-welcoming a familiar face who was on the Willamette Valley Jaguars last year and a player who was newly signed to the team earlier this week in Troy Mix Jr. Mentioned this at tip-off, but played in 17 of 20 games last year for the 2025 Willamette Valley Jaguars, which is tied for the most on the team. Took on a lot of defensive assignments, though, against some of the bigger players. And this year, he's listed as a power forward after being listed as a small forward last year. And it feels like that's the value he's going to bring to the team this year is match up. And when we talked to Coach Stade, it's exactly what she wants him to do is match up against some of the tougher, taller, and stronger players on the opponent's team.
Absolutely. And Isaac, you and I had a wonderful opportunity to talk to him on the sneak peek into the Jaguars Beyond the Baseline earlier this week, and a wonderful, about 30-minute episode. Got to sit down with Troy and talk about what was so exciting about this opportunity to come back. And he said that he was just so fired up about what Coach Mary Stade and her staff has done with this team and the way this organization has evolved. But he also acknowledged that his role would be different this year, and that was something that he was absolutely willing to embrace.
He's also had quite the journey this year. He played 3 games to start the season with the Great Falls Electric as he gets 2 more on the board here for the Jaguars. Give them the lead. And then he also, right after playing 3 games with Great Falls, played 3 games for the Tri-City Sun Devils and then eventually signed with the Jaguars. So it's been a whirlwind of a season already for Troy Mix Jr. We're not even halfway through the CBL regular season as he gets it here in the corner. Whitfield, open look at a 3. Can't hit, but Troy Mix there for the offensive board. Finds Stevens. Another open look, and he hits it.
Willamette Valley is working into these open threes, and they're finding exactly the right shot. But I just want to get out and see them run as much as possible. A team that's only got 5 players here today, you got to wear them out as early as you can.
Second 3 of the quarter for the Jaguars as inside Chase Culpepper heading to, no, it's actually Denzel Smith, excuse me. Denzel Smith heading to the free throw line. This will be his second trip to the charity stripe. Two for 2 on his first 2 attempts. Can't connect on the first one of these 2. Last game versus the Jaguars really dominated inside. Had a double-double with 19 points, 16 boards, and 3 blocks. Connects on 1 of 2 attempts at the line there, and he comes away with a steal. Leading the charge on the other end, he lays it in.
Smith, an impact player last game. You know, a guy that's just 6'6", talk about that double-double and hauling in 16 rebounds is no easy feat. This team does have a big in Sarian McGee, but he's stepped into that forward role.
Fletcher weaves his way into an open jump shot, but can't connect as he pulls up. Now Gold on the attack. Sizing up Troy Mix Jr., now directing traffic. McGee, double teams. Trying to go right through it. Can't lay it in, but he will head to the free throw line.
Sarian McGee is a really crafty scorer. See him try to stretch the floor a lot. He went 0 for 10 from 3 in that last game against the Jaguars. So if he's shooting that many, it's clearly a shot that he's comfortable with. And, you know, Willamette Valley came away with the loss in that one. It only would have been more had he been hitting some of those triples. But you see right there, a double team spins into the help defender and might have had an elbow hook in there, but all legal and just draws more contact to send him to the stripe.
Already free throw attempts number 5 and 6 for the Red Tails as a team, and 3 team fouls in the quarter for the Jaguars. 17-16 the score. The Red Tails led by as much as 6. Open in the corner for 3. Stevens can't connect. And Muhammad is there to corral the rebound. McGee defended by Johnson. Putting his back to Johnson. Tries to go up. Can't get the roll, but Smith gets the offensive board. Puts it up. Can't hit. Mix. Trying to battle for the rebound. And a foul looks like on McGee on that box out.
So McGee, the tallest player in the paint in the whole game right now until Jarian Henry is checking in as we see at center court. But he's a powerful 6'8". He plays like a 7-footer. And just great work from the Jaguars bigs down there in Troy Mix Jr. and Tavion Johnson to fend him off as long as they could. And he just got a bit too physical.
Tavion Johnson steps off the floor, and Brandon Suttles and Jarian Henry come into the game for Willamette Valley. Fadeaway jumper for Stevens won't go. Put back from Henry won't go. And Henry slaps it out of Gibson's possession. So it'll be Red Tails' possession.
So that's now 2 offensive rebounds that the Jaguars have just tried to tip up and in, and I like the sense of urgency there. But really, you just got to come down with both of those, get 2 hands on the ball, and live for a better shot than that flick up putback attempt.
Smith thought he got fouled on that shot on that putback. Stevens gets the rebound. Whitfield looking to make magic happen, and he'll head to the free throw line again.
That was a really nice move from Whitfield. I thought he might have been able to get that one to fall for just a second, showing off the athleticism. An undersized guard, but really rose up right there into the contact. And again, getting back to the stripe, something that Whitfield does so well.
I mentioned this earlier in the season, but he has been an elite free throw shooter his entire time in the TBL throughout his career. Shot 85% or better in every season with the Salem Capitals. As he hits the first one. Now a perfect 3 for 3 on the night. This one to give the Jaguars a 1-point lead. He got them both. Gibson brings it across the timeline for the Red Tails. Gets some help from Smith. Smith, fade away. Won't fall. Nix there to recover for the rebound. Spins off a defender. And Mix wanted the foul call. And he won't get it as he lost it out of bounds. Turnover number 3 for the Jaguars in this first quarter. And there's the second media timeout of the quarter. We take a break with 2:59 left to play in the first. The Jaguars up by 1. It's a back and forth battle. 2:59 left to go in the first quarter, and the Jaguars only leading by 1 against the Grant County Red Tails, 18-17 the score. Devlin, already a pretty nice stat line through the first 9 minutes of game time for Denzel Smith. 10 points, 7 rebounds, but 2 personal fouls, and right now, the Red Tails only have 5 players playing in this game and not much help on the bench right now because they had some issues getting here in travel. So the foul trouble is going to be a huge part of the game for the Red Tails today.
Absolutely, and especially with a guy like Smith, already got 2 himself. Limit is 6 in TBL. And so they are desperately waiting for the cavalry to arrive. You saw Ernest Carter warming up behind their bench. He just got into the building. So they need to stay out of foul trouble as long as they possibly can.
Now the Red Tails get another trip to the free throw line. Free throw number 7 and 8. Remind you that the last time these two teams played, almost 3 weeks ago, here Sunday, March 29th, here at Linn-Benton Community College, a combined 88 free throw attempts for both teams. Grant County had 49, so certainly are a team that really knows how to draw the fouls, especially against this Jaguars team. You consider what they did the last time these two teams faced off. Gold gets downhill, denied inside, but another foul.
We'll see. This one looks like it should be on the ground. That was Whitfield on a reach. But we talked about the way that Grant County is able to get to the stripe and draw those fouls. It's such a strong suit of theirs. And it's not necessarily that Willamette Valley fouls a lot. It's that they've had a couple games that have really just spiked that count. And players like Jerry Henry and Tavion Johnson, being the two bigs, getting attacked in the paint, both lead the TBL in fouls per game, sitting at about 5 each.
It's foul number 2 for Preston Whitfield as he checks out of the game, and a Stevens checks in. Caden Leslie also in the game for the Jaguars. As Gold splashes down both free throws, gives the Red Tails a 2-point game, 2.5 to go in the first. Stevens inside, finds Henry, outside Khalifa, and AV goes down, and he is able to draw the foul, though. It's called on Alante Gold. It's his first foul of the game. Team foul number 3 for the Red Tails.
Well, certainly the right call, but maybe just a bit of luck from Abby and Khalifa right there. He definitely slipped prior to the foul, but kind of fell right into the arms of Gold. Got the whistle.
Stevens rises up from the outside and buries a 3. 1-point lead for the Jaguars. This game has been back and forth since the very jump. And now a whistle on a 3-point shot from the Red Tails. And it'll go the other way.
Gold just hesitated a second right there. Probably should have taken that first look he had, but had kind of a hitch in his release right there. Ended up bouncing a bit too high.
Stevens, another look at a 3, too strong, and a rebound. No, a foul in the corner on Denzel Smith. It'll give Ace Stevens 3 attempts at the line.
Well, Smith looks absolutely distraught about that one. Didn't exactly see the play. He doesn't look hurt. He just looks like that one is hurting him personally, as he's racked up his 3rd foul. We're still in the first quarter, and he's had such a big impact on this game so far. His physicality is such an important part of the way he plays, as it looks like he's going to get ready to head to the bench after this next free throw. Ernest Carter has warmed up enough and appears to be the first piece of the cavalry arriving for the Red Tails.
Now here's Ace Stevens, the 27-year-old shooting guard from Scarborough, Ontario. He recorded 15 points, 11 boards across the last 2 games, which is the most in a 2-game span this year, including a season-high 8 points the last time these two teams met 3 weeks ago here at Linn-Benton Community College. Now McGee brings it up the floor. And it's stolen away by Stevens. In the open floor, two-handed flush. Gold's in the corner. Pass is deflected and stolen away by Suttles. Stevens again leaves it for Khalifa. He can't finish. Stevens gets the miss and puts it back.
Hey, Stevens doing it all himself, cleaning up on the glass.
Jaguars have their largest lead of this first quarter. It's 7. Just over a minute left to play in the first. Carter, his first minutes of the game, goes right at the rack and can't finish. Henry there for the board. Brings it up the floor quickly, finds Stevens underneath. Stevens dancing, spinning. Henry! It puts Carter in the spin cycle but can't finish. Gold to Gibson, back to Gold, corner 3. Can't answer, and Henry skies for the board. Inside 40 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Henry bringing it up the floor for Willamette Valley, and a blocking foul. That's foul number 5 for the Red Tails in the quarter. And it'll send Henry to the free throw line.
Well, Ace Stevens quickly up to 14 points. He talked about his season best last time against this Red Tails team, and he is having a career day so far.
Gets the roll on the first shot for Jarian Henry, who is shooting over 65% from the free throw line this year. A season high 5 assists in the last game versus the Red Tails. 11 points and 7 boards to go with it as well. Extends the Jaguars' advantage to 9. Gold takes his time, brings it across the timeline. Gibson, defended by Suttles, puts his shoulder down, tries to fade away. Inside, Muhammad can't finish. And Khalifa there for the rebound. Shot clock turned off. Khalifa lobs for Suttles. An errant pass, and it heads out of bounds. Turnover number 4 of the quarter for the Jaguars. 3 to shoot. Gold puts it up. It rolls off the rim, but a foul called on Khalifa. 3 shots at the line for Alante Gold.
Well, just perfect timing right there from Gold to finish this quarter at the free throw stripe. Clock stopped at .6. Can't imagine Willamette Valley will be able to do anything but a full court heave after that. So just great awareness from Alante Gold moving into the defender, Abby and Khalifa.
Can't hit the first. Gold, who is a TBL veteran. He played 3 seasons with the Glass City Wranglers. His best year was in 2024, where he averaged 12.2 points per game and almost 4 rebounds a game in 2024 for the Glass City Wranglers. Cashes in on the final 2. Jaguars have to put up a quick shot. And a technical foul going against Carter. Said something to the official there they didn't like. As Khalifa heaves it into the scorer's table. That should be Red Tails' ball and an opportunity to inbound, as the ball never came inbound and it wasn't touched by anybody. So the clock should sit at .6 and the Red Tails should have possession. They'll have it from their side of the floor. An opportunity to get one last quick shot off. That one's deflected by Suttles and out of bounds, so that'll end the quarter. 29-22, the Jaguars go on a run to take a 7-point lead into the second quarter. We'll be back for more action at Linn-Benton Community College here on TBL TV and Next Move Radio. A 7-point game entering the second quarter. Ashley Davidson has something for us on the sideline. Ashley, what you got?
You know, Isaac, from hearing these team huddles, one thing has been really emphasized, which is manning up, which you'd think would be just a simple fundamental thing, but it is really working for the Jaguars. They're already up in this game, and just simply covering a man is making the biggest difference. Back to you.
Thank you, Ashley. Red Tails start the second quarter with possession. Carter's step back and passes over to Gibson, and his shot won't fall, but Muhammad can't track it down out of bounds. Some reinforcements come in for the Red Tails as they just had 4 players show up. Carter was in the game in that first quarter, but some more players coming off of the bench for the Red Tails as Chase Culpepper is on the sideline, and that'll really help when some of these players get into foul trouble, and also just to give these Red Tails starters a little bit of a break and some rest in order to regroup and reset.
Yeah, you make a great point. We talked about Denzel Smith having a great day so far, but already those 3 fouls from playing nearly the entire first quarter. Carter came in for him, but Tayon English, Chase Culpepper, and Ajing have all arrived for Grant County.
Suttles can't hit an open 3, but he gets a steal, but a foul. And it was on Suttles. So it'll be his first personal foul of the game, and the first team foul in the quarter for the Jaguars.
And after a big break of the Jaguars not playing some basketball the few games before that, Suttles had an injury and he sat out a few. So it's been a while since Brandon Suttles has played full-speed competitive hoops against anybody but his teammates.
Ten to shoot for McGee. Chest pass to Gold. Gold inside, goes up, and rebound ends up in the hands of Stevens. Stevens lost it on the way in. Diving on the floor is Muhammad, and it ends up in the hands of Stevens. Cross-court pass to Leslie. Back to Stevens. Inside. Another pass outside. Leslie. His 3's good. What ball movement by the Jaguars to get an open look at a tray. 4th 3 of the game for the Jaguars. Muhammad rises up and hits. Cuts the lead to 8. Suttles on the drive. Can't lay it in. And the Red Tails come up with it. Golds to McGee. He launches. Swirls off. Leslie controls it. Stevens inside, stolen away again. Now Gibson attacks quickly and draws the foul. Can't hit the shot though. 2 shots at the line coming for Jalen Gibson.
Suttles had a hand in there, and even if it was on the ball, Jalen Gibson did the right thing to move that ball around, make sure the official sees that arm in there moving, and with the official just seeing the back and the reach in of Suttles, it makes it an easy whistle for the foul.
Here's Jalen Gibson, the 23-year-old shooting guard from Evanston, Illinois. Recently played in the Montenegro Pro League this past season. Just ended that season in December of last year. Only played in 5 games, but averaged just under 19 points a game, 9 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and 1.5 steals per game. This most recent season in the Montenegro Pro League.
Gibson's played every minute so far, but looks like some relief might be coming. Tayon English just checked into the game for Solomon Muhammad, and over at the scorer's table, Chase Culpepper ready to check in.
Stevens, why not? Can't hit. And McGee trying to box out for the rebound. A whistle. Officials confer. Waiting for a call here. Red Tails are acting like it's against the Jaguars, and it is. It's against... No, it's going the other way. Never mind. It is on McGee. Never mind.
McGee and Tavion Johnson were just battling down low right there. I think both officials might have had different calls, and that's why they had to talk that over. Could have gone either way. This time it goes in favor of the Jaguars.
Now Bradley checks in for Abion Khalifa. Zion Bradley played in all 5 games so far this year. Small forward from Philadelphia. Finds Fletcher. He attacks inside, finds Johnson. He'll let it fly and hits! Tavion Johnson, his first 3 of the game.
His first 3 of the game and his first of the year. Tavion Johnson stretching out the floor.
Now Gold trying to answer with a 3 of his own, but Nix is there to track down the miss. Mix, no hesitation, launches a 3. Off the mark, and it's going the Red Tails' way.
Well, the right shot from Mix there, just an in-rhythm 3 off the feed from Whitfield. You want to see him taking that every single time.
Culpepper trying to turn the corner. Can't. Finds Gold, he rises up. It rattles out. Mix is there to control the rebound. Mix trying to fight off English, tightly defending him. Finds Whitfield. Whitfield through the defense. Scoop layup won't go, but he draws the foul. It'll be free throws number 5 and 6 for Preston Whitfield. And he's connected on all 4 of his free throw attempts so far today. So getting him to the free throw line is a recipe for success.
Absolutely, and he knows it. I just love his aggressiveness so far this game. A guy that plays a lot off the bounce, some catch and shoot 3s, step backs, working in that mid-range and the floater. But today he is attacking the body of these defenders. And with the Red Tails, facing some possible foul trouble, their cavalry, their help arriving late and not as fresh as they could be and warmed up for this game, Whitfield's got the right idea. Attack the guys that are warmed up, get them in foul trouble, and get the guys that couldn't have those full couple hours to warm up into the game.
He's also a big contributor defensively as well, as he leads the team with 2 steals a game. As a 3 from English won't go, and Carter gets the offensive rebound. McGee battling down low. Trying to go through Johnson. Off glass, it won't fall. Johnson stays strong and stays home for the rebound. Whitfield spinning inside, tries to dish to Bradley underneath the basket, but it heads out of bounds.
Whitfield has just been so creative today and trying to get his teammates the ball that window was only open for a split second, and it closed so quickly that Zion Bradley didn't even think there was a chance to get that pass through. I'm sure he'll be ready next time.
Carter just inside the arc to English. One-handed floater, gets it to drop. English. Tayon English is on the board for the first time today. Whitfield steps back, launches, and hits! Preston Whitfield doing it himself! And the Jaguars, everything is falling from beyond the arc right now. 6 threes in this game for the Jaguars. And it's Whitfield's first of the game as Culpepper gets inside and answers with a 2. But a 10-point lead for the Jaguars. 7 minutes to play in the first half. Nix thought about a 3. Whitfield off the mark. Rebound by Tayon English. Gibson crosses over, rises up, but can't finish. Whitfield trying to go through the entire defense, draws a foul. That one's called on Culpepper. Chase Culpepper, who checked into the game for the first time in the second quarter because he just arrived at the facility as he was on that van holding the players, the van that broke down on the way here. But reinforcements have arrived for the Red Tails. They're still down by 10. 6:41 left to play in the first half. We'll be back on TBL TV and Next Move Radio. A 10-point advantage for the Jaguars at home with 6:41 left to play in the first half against the Grant County Red Tails here at Linn-Benton Community College. This Grant County team has seen a lot of change this year. 10 released players throughout this season alone. They had 5 players released before the last time these two teams played on March 29th, but most recently, 2 weeks ago, let go of their head coach and Isaiah Hamlet, and they brought in Brandon Hansen, who previously played for the Tri-Cities Sun Devils earlier this season and the Willamette Valley Jaguars last year. But you got to imagine all this change for the Red Tails. It's been really hard to adjust, but they've still found a way to win. 7-5 overall on the year, which is good for second in the Western Conference, Devlin.
And with their new head coach, Elijah Macon, we touched on him earlier, but 2-1 coming into, somewhat of a confusing situation. Anytime there's a midseason coaching change, it's never the easiest thing for any player, any coach, anybody to adjust to. And so he's really taken the reins and done so well. And, the Jaguars have a 10-point lead here, but this team has really managed to hold their own with just 5 players to begin the game.
This Red Tails team, though, is in a little bit of a slump when you compare them to what they were doing earlier this year. They started the year 5-1 overall, and after that game where they played the Jaguars March 29th, the last time these two teams faced off, they're just 2-4 overall. As this one's tapped out of bounds by Culpepper, it'll stay on this side of the floor.
Culpepper flying through the lane right there to stop that Whitfield to Johnson pick and roll. Great play designed by the Jaguars.
Fletcher trying to go through the body of English, now fades away, can't hit, and McGee. Carter on the other end, through the legs, gets downhill, rolls off the rim. Culpepper gets the miss, and fight for the rebound, and it is off of Troy Mix Jr. as he tried to get that one and throw it off of Carter to roll out of bounds, but they say he stepped on the line as he was doing it. Carter on the perimeter, now on the drive. Off glass, it won't go. McGee, though, on the putback. Gets 2 on the board for the Red Tails. An 8-point advantage for the Jaguars still halfway through the second quarter. Bradley, he'll fire, too strong. Gibson down the floor. Trying to go through the defense, reverse lay-in for Jalen Gibson is good. Jalen Gibson up to 7 points on the game. Johnson inside, he can't finish near the rim. Culpepper crosses over, and it rolls off of Culpepper, and a great defensive play again by Preston Whitfield.
Whitfield playing a gamble right there with two fouls already, but you talk about just his hands and his defensive ability right there, just swiping down at the perfect time, getting that one off of the shooter and forcing a turnover.
Now Davion Burdett into the game, as he has it here for the Jaguars. Dishes over to Fletcher. He has it in the corner, sidesteps long two, in and out. Johnson the miss, and can't put it back though. 5 points, 2 for 5 shooting from the floor for Tavion Johnson, as here's a good look for Culpepper, and he buries a three from outside, and the Red Tails have turned a double-digit deficit into a 3-point game. 4:43 left to play, and a timeout for Coach Mary Stade, as we'll be back here on CBL TV and Next Move Radio. Back at Linn-Benton Community College, in what was a 10-point game is now just a 3-point advantage for the Jaguars. 4:43 left to play in the first half, and the Jaguars ahead 40-37. Devlin coming into this one, we were wondering for the Jaguars who was going to step up in place of Micah Johnson Jr., who's the team's third leading scorer, averaging over 16 points per game, and so far it's been Ace Stevens, who leads this game right now with 14 points, 5 for 10 from the floor, and 2 for 5 from beyond the arc.
Leading all scorers so far, Stevens is certainly having himself a day. He's only averaging 4.6 points per game on the season, and that's something he's been looking to improve on just about every game. But he's somebody that wants to play his role. He does a great job in waiting until the shot finds him. He doesn't force bad looks, and today he's gotten a lot of good looks, and they're just starting to fall. We can only expect more of it from Ace Stevens.
He's also got 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals. Again, Ace Stevens, through 5 games so far this year, averaging just 13.5 minutes per game through 5 games this year. Already played 13.5 minutes today. Not on the floor here. Burdett on the floor for the Jaguars. Ball in the hands of Fletcher. 5 to shoot. Fletcher penetrates the defense. Floater inside, won't go. And the rebound to the Red Tails, but stolen away by Whitfield. He'll put up a 3. Off the heel, and a foul, a whistle. It's going the other way against the Jaguars. And Ajing checking in for the Red Tails for the first time today. The 28-year-old center from Phoenix, Arizona, standing at 6'10", 250 pounds. Carter sizing up Mix. Shovels over to English. He'll drive inside, and he can't lay it in. And a foul. It's going the other way. It's been a foul on that rebound, and it's been against Zhang there.
And Zhang, one of those players that arrived late. The Jaguars haven't seen him yet this season. We touched on the fact that this Red Tails team has had a lot of roster turnover so far this year, and
Looks like some confusion definitely from the officials here. Zhang was originally whistled for that foul. It appears the call has changed.
Well, they also whistled that and made the motion that it was going the other way. That possession changed as Culpepper launches a three, can't hit, but offensive rebound ends up in the hands of Gibson. He turns the corner, then lays it in through contact. Jalen Gibson will not be denied, and the Red Tails make this a 1-point game. Mix lets it fly. Off the front of the rim, Carter skies for the miss. For the rebound. Gibson. Shake and bake on Ford. Out to English. Defended by Mix. Tries to drive past him and can't hit the lay-in. Burdett defended by English. Now they swing it around into the hands of Johnson. Johnson looking for help. Finds Mix, 5 to shoot, and a whistle. It's going, looks like against Carter. And it'll be the Red Tails' 5th foul of this second quarter. So, no, it's a technical.
it's a 3 in the key. Technical foul, defensive 3 in the key on Zhang, I think, was just standing in the lane that time, working the base middle of that under the hoop zone, and just stayed in that lane a bit too long.
Drought continues for the Jaguars. It's been a 9-0 run for the Red Tails, and Whitfield could not end it at the stripe.
Jaguars are shooting 10 of 12 at the free throw line so far today. Shooting just over 64% on the year, but a shot clock violation there as the shot clock didn't reset after that 3 in the key there. So a turnover for the Jaguars. It's number 9 in this game. 2.5 to play in the first half. Zhang defended by Johnson. Culpepper rises up off the front of the rim, and Whitfield comes away with it quickly in transition. Mix open. Can't hit. Johnson gets the offensive board and throws it right to English. In transition, nearly lost it, but gathers and finds Culpepper. Gibson defended by Burdett. Trying to attack. Goes up with it, can't lay it off glass. Fight for the rebound, won by Johnson. Ford. Inside. Outside. Burdett, step back 3. It rattles home. Davion Burdett with his first points of the year.
Burdett's first points of the year coming at a crucial time, ending the Jaguars' scoring drought of about 4 minutes.
Culpepper trying to bully his way inside, goes up and draws the foul. He'll head to the free throw line.
Huge shot right there from Burdett. That's something that he's been working on all year. We've seen him take a couple threes, but that one, the fake and then the step back to add an extra point on top of it. It's exactly what this Jaguars team needed from one of their young stars.
Here's Jace Culpepper at the free throw line. 24-year-old point guard from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Last game against the Jaguars, recorded 14 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and was 6 of 13 from the floor. He's averaging 11 points per game in 2 games versus the Jaguars this year. Second one won't go for the Red Tails, and English had it, tried to put it back. It ends up in the hands of Burdett. Burdette trying to drive through Culpepper. It's denied, but a foul.
I love this aggressiveness from Davion Burdette. Really saw that first one fall, and now he's wasting no time. He looks comfortable out there. And one of the youngest players on the floor, Davion Burdette, just 23 years old, played here at Linn-Benton Community College just a few short seasons ago. And so when you're playing up against a league full of grown men, people in their athletic prime, and you're still one of those younger guys growing into your body, that confidence is something you love to see.
He actually made his season debut in the last game versus the Red Tails. Played 8 minutes, had 1 rebound and 1 steal. He's got 5 points, his first points of the season. He's given the Jaguars a 5-point lead. A minute to go before the halftime break, as here's a offensive foul. It's going the other way.
An illegal screen on Ajing, moving around too much. And Burdette, 5 straight points and drawing the foul off that high screen and roll defense.
Whitfield inside, touches the paint. Scoop layup off glass won't go, but another foul. Feels like every time Whitfield has gotten inside, he's found a way to get to the free throw line.
So Ajing picking up back-to-back fouls. Offensive one on the illegal screen, and then personal foul right there, trying to contest the layup from Whitfield. I love the aggressiveness, getting right into the big body. And again, we've touched on it, but a guy that got here late, and those warm-ups for these professional players, that really means a lot in being able to get your body right, getting loose for a game like this. And when you're a big man like Ajing at 28 years old, 6'10", you got a lot more body to loosen up. And when you come in the second quarter of a game, it's got to be hard.
Well, the Jaguars today shooting 12 of 14 at the free throw line, not including that free throw shot for the defensive 3 in the key foul. And now 12 of 15 for the Jaguars. That's at 80%. This is a team that currently sits at 30th in the TBL in free throw percentage at 64%, 64.4 to be exact. This team gets to the free throw line a lot. They draw a lot of contact. Whitfield is a huge part of that. They are 6th in the TBL in free throw attempts per game, averaging almost 35 a game, as this one's tipped out of bounds again.
Stevens trying to play a dangerous game on that baseline right there. Thought he had Whitfield for a moment. That's a risky pass. Jaguars lucky that it just got tipped out of bounds. They keep possession.
Whitfield lobs for Burdette inside. Davion, scoop layup, it rattles home, and Davion Burdette has come alive in the second quarter.
Scored the last 7 points for this Jaguars team after they went nearly 4 whole minutes without a bucket. The infusion of excitement that this team needed.
Gibson with 8 to shoot. Dishes over to English. He rips down the baseline. Double teams. Finds Culpepper. Great cut to the rack. And he lays it home. Shot clock turned off. 17.3 to play in the first half. Whitfield to Johnson. He lets it fly. Too strong. Stevens comes up with it. No, Ford comes up with it. And then it's tapped out of bounds. Reaching in there was English. 2.2, last second shot for the Jaguars. An opportunity here. 47-42 the score. Stevens puts it up. Can't hit. But the Jaguars with a 5-point lead heading into the locker room. Devlin, some great contributions from Preston Whitfield and Ace Stevens, who currently leads the way with 14 points on the game. Preston Whitfield with 11 to his.
Both two of the most prolific scorers on this team. You're really seeing Stevens' big breakout game right here with 14, and he had 12 of those in that first quarter of action. So he's been excellent. Whitfield doing all the things we're super used to seeing him do. But the third leading scorer on this team with the last 7 points to end the half. Davion Burdett coming in just 5 minutes of play, 2 for 3 from the floor, and 7 points. Definitely not something that any of these Jaguars fans here were expecting to see, but something that they are super excited about, and a great infusion of just explosive scoring going into the locker room.
Before we take a break for halftime, we send it down to Ashley Davidson, who is standing by with Grant County Red Tails head coach Elijah Macon.
All right, Coach, down by 5 going into the half. What is going to be talked about in the locker room going into the next half?
Just honestly taking care of the ball, just cutting down on our turnovers, take care of the ball, rebounding, just slowing down in our half-court offense, not getting sped up to take care of the ball.
Definitely. And what's been working so far that you want to see more of going into the next half?
Just us attacking the basket, not getting sped up when we're going down the court. Just really honestly, I'm big on turnovers, so I just wanted to cut down on the turnovers.
Definitely. Thank you, Coach.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Ashley, and thank you, Coach Macon. We send it to the halftime break as the two teams head into the locker room. The Jaguars with a 47-42 score. We'll be back in about 10 minutes as we take a break on TBL TV and Next Move Radio.
Greatness isn't born, it's forged. It's in the sweat, the grind, and the sacrifices we make. It's in the choices we face every day, from the strength we build in the gym to what we fuel our bodies with. How steel sharpens steel, we push one another to be better, stronger, sharper. We find strength not just in ourselves, but in those who stand with us, on the field, on the court, and in life. Because every choice matters. Every drop of effort, every ounce of fuel. Together, we're not just chasing goals. We're building stronger bodies, sharper minds, and healthier lives. Greatness is in the moments that test us, the choices that fuel us, and the people who push us. Buy Steel for those moments. Every step, every play, every day. Steel, sharp, and steel.
Triple B's in the TBL done linked up. Boy, it's about to be one of the coldest seasons in the world. Trust me when I tell you. Hey, and we got that merch coming to you. Yeah, hats, hoodies, T-shirts. You want it all. You got to look sharp at the game while you over there cheering. Yes, indeed. We got 38. I say again, 38.
Just 3% dehydration. That's all it takes. A 10% drop in strength, 10% less power, 15% less endurance. Would you risk it? When you're dehydrated, your body isn't performing at its peak. Your muscles can't recover. Your game suffers. That's why we created BioSteel.
What makes a name? You might think it's the game winners or the highlights, but the foundation is ours. Sacrifice.
One system, every level, from the first AAU practice to the pros. Hectic schedules, constant messages, high expectations. The BioSteel Teams app becomes a through line connecting youth, prep, college, and pro basketball, helping teams run the right way from day one. This isn't just
Back from half on TBL TV, we have the second of 2 halftime interviews with the coaches competing here today. Ashley Davidson, our sideline reporter, is standing by with Coach Mary. Why is she? Thank you, Ashley, and thank you, Coach Stade. Jaguars are in a good spot here, especially with the contributions they've gotten from their bench. Ace Stevens starting this game, not a usual starter that you see, but contributing, leading the game with 14 points, 5 for 11 from the floor. And then Preston Whitfield with 11 points, second on the team for the Jaguars. And then for the Red Tails, Denzel Smith, who started this game, 3 for 9 from the floor, but 10 points to lead Grant County as the third quarter is underway. Gold, his 3. Offline, rebound to Mix. Whitfield dancing inside, dishes for Johnson! And he hammers it down, Tavion Johnson.
What a drop-off from Whitfield right there, just dishing it down to the big man and letting him punch it home for the highlight.
And Smith answers with a mid-range J of his own, leading the Red Tails now with 12 points. Whitfield to Johnson. He'll let it fly from 3. Leaves it short, and the rebound to Smith. Nearly lost it, but he regathers. Brings it down the floor, tries to go through Johnson, and an offensive foul. Great take on the charge by Tavion Johnson.
Tavion Johnson with the poster to begin the second half of action, and a great look from 3 that he just couldn't convert on. That's something you want him shooting every time he gets it. But then working on the defensive end of the floor, making sure he's planted. You can see Abby and Khalifa over on the bench just running all over the place. Somebody who loves to take a charge himself, and he sure is fired up for Tavion Johnson. But that is the 4th foul on Denzel Smith, and getting right back into foul trouble quickly to begin this half.
Stevens launches but can't hit the 3. Gold will lead the attack for the Red Tails. No look pass to Muhammad. Now Carter, he'll let it fly. Can't hit though. Fletcher takes his time, brings it across the timeline. To Mix. Now Whitfield at the top. Crosses over, drives inside, swing it around. Fletcher with 8 to shoot. Trying to attack through Gibson, now launches a 3 and buries it.
Kevin Fletcher stepping to the side and getting that one up despite the great contest from the Red Tails defender. Doesn't mean a thing.
Gold trying to answer with a mid-range J of his own, but can't, but put back by Muhammad. Right place, right time for Solomon Muhammad. The putback points there, and Whitfield on the offensive end for the Jaguars responds with a lay-in. Whitfield up to 13 points on the night. McKee pivoting his way inside, looking for space. Can't lay it in, but it is tipped out of bounds by the Jaguars, so they'll stay on this side of the floor.
Good move from McGee right there. Got Mix up in the air, but he could not finish in the paint. Excellent defense from Troy Mix Jr. to recover.
Gold now drives inside and lays it in with the left hand. Fletcher at the elbow, pulls up. Can't get the roll. And Stevens can't tip it in on the putback. Gold now with tight defense by Stevens. Carter going in on Mix Jr. He gets it to fall. And inbound is tapped away by Gold. Great defense by Alante Gold on that one. Initially he thought it was last touched by Ace Stevens. Now Whitfield. Mix Jr. pulls up just inside the arc and knocks it down. Troy Mix Jr. with 7 points in his return to the Willamette Valley Jaguars and 7 rebounds now. And Whitfield collects the miss. Now Stevens all alone on the other end and lays it in. Leading the game with 16 points and a whistle.
It's a delay of game warning on Tavion Johnson.
Called against Tavion. 8 minutes left to play in the third quarter. McGee, a few pump fakes in the drive. And he draws the foul on Johnson. It's Johnson's second personal foul. And it will put Sarian McGee at the free throw line.
Guy that they call Big Sar for a reason, using that big body, big frame of his, getting right up into the body of Johnson, just getting him up off his feet and almost forcing him to foul.
Been pretty quiet considering the performance he had the last time these two teams played. 22 points, 12 rebounds, 2 steals. Did get to the free throw line a lot. 8 for 10 from the free throw line in that game. And he's got just 5 here today. Does cash in on both attempts at the line there. Now the Jaguars, the offensive attack, they go to Johnson. He lays it in, and the foul. Tavion Johnson putting it in through the contact and would not be denied.
Tavo had a couple of tough missed layups earlier in that first half of action, but here in this second half, Tavion's really going to work. He looks way more comfortable. That time finishing through the contact and embracing it.
9 points. This free throw would put him in double digits. 62.5% free throw shooter on the year. Leaves it short, but gets his own miss. Attacks inside and lays it in. 2 is better than 1, and Tavion has 11 points on the night.
4-point possession for Johnson, and that puts the Jaguars back up by 10.
Their largest lead is 12. And McGee trying to prevent them from getting to that point, and he does. 2 more on the board for Sarian McGee. 7 points on the night now for McGee. Now, they've been getting the ball to him inside. It feels like that's a bit of a point of emphasis for the Red Tails here in the second half.
Certainly has been, as we've got a stoppage here, but just a second ago, that almost turnover from the Jaguars could have killed some of their momentum. A bit of a lucky break right there that the Gold just got the end of a hand on it and couldn't really reel that one in.
It's just a game clock reset on the stoppage. Shot clock at 16 now. Fletcher fires and hits. Fletcher heating up in this third quarter. his second three-pointer of the game. And his only points have come on those 2 threes. He's got 6 points on the night. Muhammad open look at a tray, but can't connect. As this one's tapped out of bounds by McGee. Tough defense there, reaching in on Whitfield. And a media timeout here. No timeout for the Jaguars. And Coach Mary Stade wants to talk things over as the Jaguars have an 11-point advantage. Been on quite the run to start this third quarter. 6:22 left to play in the third. You're listening to TBL TV and Next Move Radio. Back at Linn-Benton Community College, an 11-point lead for the Jaguars. 6:22 left to play in the third quarter on TBL TV and Next Move Radio. I'm Isaac Duby alongside Devlin Christensen and Ashley Davidson on the sideline. We take a look at the standings in the TBL Western Conference. Sitting at the top, alone in first place by a wide margin, the 4 Bears Roar, Great Falls Electric, and then the Grant County Red Tails, and the Tri-City Sun Devils, and then the Willamette Valley Jaguars. But Devlin, when you look at the standings, you see just the disparity in the amount of games that the Red Tails and the 4 Bears Roar have played and the Electric have played compared to the Jaguars. And the Jaguars right now, if they play some of their best basketball through the final half of the regular season, they can make a run to get to second or third to have an opportunity to play for a playoff position.
Absolutely. I think a lot of that has been out of the Jaguars' control, but as we've seen so far in this second half, they're really getting into a rhythm. And if this is the identity of this team and something that they can keep stringing together for 4 quarters every time they go out and play, this team is just awaiting a playoff push.
Teardrop shot from Carter gets this back to an 11-point game. Jaguars just had a 13-point lead, their largest of the game. Stevens inside, puts it up, draws the foul. No, a travel. They say he took too many steps and went around the world before putting that shot up.
Just lost his footing right there, and everybody who's hooped before has been there. Unfortunate break for Ace Stevens while he was trying to create down the lane.
Now Chase Culpepper to inbound. Culpepper's has 8 points on the night. Only played in about 10 minutes. But here's Gibson, who penetrates the defense, gets inside, can't lay it in, but does draw the contact in the foul. Second team foul of the quarter for the Jaguars. Jalen Gibson heads to the free throw line for 2 attempts.
Gibson trying to get going, certainly hasn't had a bad day by any means, but 9 points so far as being the primary scorer for this Red Tails team. was one of the leading scorers in that last game against the Jaguars. He averages 15.5 points against them so far, so he's certainly on pace for that mark, but now trailing by 10 points, a chance to cut into that lead, make it single digits with this free throw. He's certainly hoping to have a bigger game than those average numbers.
He's been very efficient within the three-point line against the Jaguars this season in 2 games. 7 of 10 from 2-point range. And 8 of 14 from the free throw line coming into this one. Now Johnson to Stevens. Fletcher at the elbow, finds Suttles. Open look at a tray, but can't connect. Numbers for the Red Tails, leaves it off for McGee. He can't hit, but he gets the miss and then throws it away. Stevens moving down the floor, finds Suttles to Fletcher. He goes up with it. No foul, no whistle. And Gibson on the other end lost it out of bounds.
Refs almost swallowing their whistles on back-to-back possessions right there. Looked like either of those could have been a foul call, but certainly excellent defense on both ends of the floor, especially from Whitfield, something we talked about earlier. This guy is just flying all over the place, not giving up any easy buckets.
The 3 Jaguars in double digits in scoring in this game, as Preston Whitfield has 13, Tavion Johnson has 11, and Ace Stevens has 16, and now a 4th Jaguar has entered the mix in double-digit scoring as Kevin Fletcher now has 10 points on the night. 11-point lead for the Jaguars. The largest lead this year has just been 7. And that was their lone win of the year against the Tri-City Sun Devils in their home opener, as Preston Whitfield does it himself and lays it in. 13-point lead for the Jaguars, which matches their largest lead of the game. Just over 4 minutes left in the third quarter and a timeout for Coach Macon. We step aside as the Red Tails regroup and look to respond here on CBL TV and Next Move Radio. Red Tails with possession and in need of an answer, down by 13. As Gibson loses it out of bounds, turnover for the Red Tails.
Falling over the scorer's table, just certainly not the start right out of the timeout that the Red Tails were hoping for.
The 14th turnover of the game for the Red Tails. It's one area of the game that the Jaguars have really improved on the most substantially today, as Fletcher can't hit a mid-range J. English. McGee, a three. No. Carter. Skies for the offensive board. Now Gibson will fire. And hit, and the foul. Jalen Gibson providing the Red Tails with new life and a chance at a 4-point play.
Well, that's Gibson's first three-point make of the day and just the second three-pointer made for this Red Tails team throughout this entire game. Certainly a flashy one, as he's ending up with another shot at the line to make it 4.
They have been very efficient on their opportunities at the free throw line. Make it 18 of 22, shooting over 80% on the game for the Red Tails. Whitfield to Stevens, trying to turn the corner, pulls up, won't fall. Rebound to Culpepper. Gibson in transition, English in the corner, attacks, floats, can't hit. McGee, the putback won't go, and Whitfield is there to get the miss. Suttles. Stolen away by Gibson on a cross-court pass. Gibson all alone, lays it in. Opportunistic defense there for Jalen Gibson. Ace Stevens underneath, going through, contact, it swirls out, and McGee comes up with it. A 6-0 run for the Red Tails. Looking to add to that. Culpepper inside, lays it in, and the foul.
Grant County has life in the hands of Jalen Gibson and Chase Culpepper. A fantastic finish down low, and now a chance to cut this to just a 2-possession game.
Chase Culpepper coming into this game against the Jaguars was just 3 of 12 at the free throw line through 2 games. But he gets that one, and he's 2 for 3 from the line today. Makes this a 1-possession game again, as Whitfield penetrates the defense and flutters one in for 2. Back to a 5-point advantage for Willamette Valley. Inside 2 minutes left to play in the third. Jalen Gibson leading the way with 17 points for the Red Tails. Can't finish, and it's tipped out to Fletcher. Numbers for the Jaguars. Suttles, lays it in. Now McGee lob at the rim, denied by Johnson. What a play! Numbers for the Jaguars on the other end. Fletcher. The Jaguars in hyperspeed and getting fast break opportunities. And Tavion Johnson says not today and not ever.
Certainly not now. Back-to-back fantastic blocks for Tavion Johnson, climbing the ladder on that one, and help defense, doing everything he can to deny a bucket.
He's come up with some blocks in some big spots, some critical spots for the Jaguars as he checks out of the game, leading the team in blocks per game with almost 1.5 through 5 games this season. And here's a technical foul going against the Jaguars. Looks like it's going on Tavion Johnson, and Tavo will have a seat on the bench after something that was said after that play, but Gibson can't connect on the free trip to the line.
Well, a coach is never going to be happy about a technical. There's never really a technical that a coach is, excited to accept. But if you're head coach Mary State, I think that out of every technical called this season, that one's going to be the most excused after the exciting defense from Tavion Johnson.
English fires a three, it swirls in. The Red Tails won't go away. More work to do with a 7-point ball game inside a minute to play in the third. Suttles at the top, finds Whitfield, he'll let it fly. Off the heel, rebound to Gibson. And now Culpepper, and a foul on the floor against the Jaguars. Kickball violation. That won't be the 15th team foul of the third quarter, as it's a violation. But the next foul for the Jaguars puts the Red Tails in the bonus. 45 seconds left to play in the third. Red Tails looking to go out on a high note. Culpepper leaves it off for McGee, but he can't finish it. Fletcher comes away with it, and a foul going against McGee. Huge turn of events there as Kevin Fletcher stood strong on that defensive possession.
Just great team defense from the Jaguars right there, flying all over the place. The kickball violation is certainly not something that they want to see, but excellent team defense.
Gibson controls for the Red Tails. Ahead to English. Can't finish. McGee underneath. Fighting through contact. Can't lay it in. It heads out of bounds. And it was last touched by Mix Jr. A little bit of an over-dramatic expression there as he lays on the floor. Inside McGee, defended by Mix Jr. Trying to go through the body underneath, leaves it off for Culpepper. He can't lay it in. Fight for the rebound. Jump ball with Whitfield and Culpepper. They'll duke it out on that side of the floor.
Well, Preston Whitfield, for being the smallest player that the Jaguars have on the floor right now, he might have just an inch or two on Chase Culpepper, who stands at just 6 foot. Whitfield has 9 rebounds, and that fight for the jump ball, if he'd come down with it, that would have been his 10th on the day. We're not even into the fourth quarter. I am loving the effort from Preston Whitfield, crashing the defensive glass.
Averaging just over 4.5 rebounds per game this season. Almost doubled that alone in this game as McGee draws the contact. Can't lay it in, but he will head to the line for 2 attempts. 6 seconds left on the clock in the third.
Well, McGee had really been vying for a call with these officials the last couple of Grant County possessions. He finally sees one go his way, but now he's got to make it. Got to make these Jaguars pay at the stripe.
Rolls off the rim there. 24 free throw attempts for the Grant County Red Tails so far in this game. Been getting trips to the free throw line as Whitfield comes away with the miss. And it's on the loose on the floor, and Gibson heaves at the buzzer, but it won't fall. The Jaguars led by as much as 13 in the third, but go into the fourth quarter with a 7-point lead, and it has been a show of Ace Stevens, Kevin Fletcher, and Preston Whitfield leading the game with 17 points as we head to the fourth and final quarter at Linn-Benton Community College. We'll be back on CBL TV and Next Move Radio. A 7-point game entering the fourth quarter. The Jaguars lead the Grant County Red Tails at home by 7. They led by as much as 13 in this game and have had the lead the entirety of this second half. The Jaguars' lone win this year was a back-and-forth game in the fourth quarter. Came down to the final few minutes. It was only a 7-point game. As they won 102-95. As Stevens underneath, reverse lay-in won't go. Gibson controls. In the corner, English. McGee defended by Fletcher. He lays it home, scoops it off glass. The Red Tails are within 5. And the Red Tails, coming off of a 3-point win against the Tri-Cities Sun Devils, it came down to the last possession. They've been in tight games and had one just 3 days ago as Fletcher can't hit a runner, and it's tapped out of bounds by the Jaguars. Suttles there, who slapped it out of bounds. Culpepper to inbound for the Red Tails, looking to make this a 1-possession game. Culpepper on the drive, lays it home in the foul. Hanging in the air and finishing through contact. Culpepper would not be denied.
What a finish from Chase Culpepper, switching hands in mid-air, going through all of that contact and still being able to put that ball through. That is a layup just not too many people on this planet can complete.
Played formerly at Ave Maria University. Played also in the Ace League and has quite a bit of athleticism in his lineage, as he's the son of former NFL quarterback Dante Culpepper, who is a 3-time Pro Bowler and most well known for his time with the Minnesota Vikings from 1999 to 2005. As Culpepper connects on the 3-point play. 2-point ball game. Fletcher dancing. Johnson puts it up in the middle of the lane, but a travel. Costly turnover for the Jaguars. It's number 14 on the night. The Red Tails looking to regain the lead for the first time since the first quarter, as McGee will give them an opportunity. No, a whistle.
Might have two officials on two different pages here.
They're trying to sort this out right now. They're going to say it's on McGee. Didn't see what the call was offensively, but an offensive foul on McGee. What looked like a 3-point play turns into a turnover. Number 17 on the night. Nicks, jabs, kicks, Suttles, rips, attacks, and finishes.
Great aggressive attack from Brandon Suttles, and when you're such a high flyer like him, coaching staff of the Jaguars has to be absolutely ecstatic seeing him get down the lane like that.
Gibson on the drive, pivots and lays it in. Inside 10 minutes to play. AB to Ace. Swing it around the perimeter, get it back to Ace. He lost it. It's tipped up. Khalifa has it. Stevens inside, high off glass, won't go. And Carter stole it away. Stevens ends up with it. And he draws the foul, the contact, but can't finish. He will go to the free throw line now.
Well, now the Jaguars get to exhale right there. A very chaotic possession going both ways. Chaotic couple of possessions right there. And now that Stevens is going to the stripe, this Willamette Valley roster gets a chance to take a breath. Still 10 minutes to go in this one, and Grant County is not letting them get away with it easy. That lead just to 2 points now. Stevens with a chance to extend it.
His previous season high in points was 8. That was in the last performance, the last time these two teams played. He's got 16 on the night. It's to make it 17.
Something of note as Jing Zhang comes back into the game is that Sarian McGee has just reached his 5th foul. So he's 1 away from having to leave the game, and with so much time left, that is certainly something the Jaguars will look to attack.
Look for a moment like Khalifa held strong. Some tight full court pressure, but he's called for the foul. Second team foul of the quarter for the Jaguars. And for Khalifa, it's foul number 3. Again, applying the full court pressure on Culpepper. Culpepper turns the corner, lays it in. What a drive by Culpepper. 1 point game. Fletcher attacks, steps through, can't hit. Stevens puts it back. Stevens has been the star of the show tonight with 19 points to lead the Jaguars. 7 rebounds and 4 steals for Ace Stevens. Gold lays it in, flips it up, and it magically falls through. Stevens thought about a 3, sidesteps, lets it fly off the front of the rim, and Smith there to corral the board. English wide open underneath, and that gives the Red Tails the lead, 83-82, and they have their first lead since the first half.
Red Tails able to capitalize on some lackadaisical defense on the run, and we talked about it all day so far. Grant County loves to get out in transition, and right now the Jaguars are letting them play their game. Got to get back to their own brand of basketball, does Willamette Valley.
83-82, 8:33 left to play, and we step aside for the final moments on TBL TV and Next Move Radio. A 1-point game at Linn-Benton Community College, 8:33 left to play. And with an update on Tavion Johnson on the sideline, we go to Ashley Davidson.
Yes, Isaac, we saw Tavion Johnson came out and back to the bench. He got hit with a nasty elbow to the nose and the mouth. It looked like they took a look at his nose, and he seemed to look a little better and actually might be heading back into the game. Back to you.
Thank you, Ashley. He was called for that technical foul after that block in a sequence where he had 2 blocks, the same on back-to-back defensive possessions. And he's a big part of the Jaguars' defense, been a big part of the team the last 2 years for the Willamette Valley Jaguars. He led the team in points per game, rebounds, field goal percentage, 3-point percentage last year. And here he steps back onto the floor and looks to give the Jaguars the lead right back. Devlin, 1-point game, 8:33 left to play. What's the difference here? And what do you think the Jaguars or Red Tails have to do to pull this one out?
I think the difference is going to be how the Jaguars defend. That last couple of possessions, they got just a little bit away from themselves. This is a team that plays really intense defense. You see Troy Mix Jr., who just got here this week, sitting all the way down in defensive stance, and the Jaguars kind of got away from that. They were letting the Red Tails play a bit of their own game, so here they're going to have to get back to controlling the tempo.
Mix floats it up, but it's denied. The Red Tails come away with it, look to build on this lead. Smith attacks down low and gets it to fall. A 3-point lead for the Red Tails. Mix pulls up, stepped on the line. It's a long 2, but he got it.
Huge shot from Mix right there. That gives the Jaguars some much needed confidence as they inch back into this 1-point game.
Smith puts it up and hits. Nobody can miss out of the timeout. Red Tails take a 4-point lead. Mix in the corner, gets downhill, kicks outside Stevens 3. He got it! Ace Stevens answers right back.
Stevens up to 22 points, having a career day, and exactly when the Jaguars needed it.
This one nearly stolen away. Gold open in the corner. Can't cash in. A Zhang with the offensive board. The putback rolls in. Inside 7 minutes left to play. Fletcher the sidestep. It won't go. And a whistle and a foul against the Jaguars. It'll head the other way.
Fletcher had the defender shook right there. Would have been a long 2, just like the one we saw a second ago from Mix, but still a fantastic look and even better creation from Fletcher. Jaguars need to see those ones fall.
Gold on the drive. Can't finish though. Gets his own miss. Inside English floats it up. Count it and the foul.
Tayon English finishing through the contact. You see Tavion Johnson certainly not happy about that call, but didn't give him anywhere to land, and that's an easy whistle for these refs.
Now Tayon English steps to the free throw line after a big and one opportunity here. Checked into the game late as he came in on that second van and that second set of players. That their van broke down on the way here. But 22 minutes for Tayon English. He's come up in some big spots. A big one here as he looks to put the Red Tails up by 6. And if he connects on this free throw, it would give him 10 points on the night. It would also be the 5th Red Tail to enter double figures in scoring.
Got a stoppage right here. It looks like the Jaguars are going to have to substitute for Tavion Johnson. Not quite sure what it was. It must be a cut. It's the only thing I can think of that would send a player straight to the bench like this and receiving clearly not urgent but immediate medical attention to let him return to the game. Obviously, no open wounds allowed on the floor, so we see Suttles checking in for Tavion Johnson.
Johnson has also played in a game earlier this year. It was actually the last game they played in against the Red Tails, where it came in and was limited most of the week in practice, but still played through an injury. Came in for just about 10 minutes in that game and fouled out. Mix inside, spinning, and floats it in.
Good spinning hook from Mix right there to keep in control of the ball. Just ripped it away a second before it would have been a jump. Gets a bucket down.
Smith on the drive. Count it, and no. They say it was before the shot.
Well, that's certainly an exhale for the Jaguars, but that one won't count because Smith is really just working these Jaguars since he came back into the game. Couple of rebounds. He's got 11 already and had 10 points in that first quarter. Got his next 2 points in this quarter already. So that would have been 4 in the quarter for Denzel Smith, who's only played 12 minutes due to foul trouble.
Denzel Smith with 17 points on the night. Defended by Fletcher. Trying to shake him. A 3 from Culpepper won't go. Whitfield tracks down the miss. On the attack quickly. Tries to take it himself. Can't finish through contact. It's slapped out of bounds. It's staying with the Jaguars.
A lot of contact right there. Certainly no set defender. Jaguars getting possession back, but certainly would have liked 2 shots at the free throw stripe for their best free throw line shooter, Preston Whitfield.
Nix fades away and hits. Nix Jr. coming in the clutch for the Willamette Valley Jaguars. He's got 13 points on the night. Gold with help from Ajang to Gibson. Gets downhill and floats it in. The Red Tails continue to answer, and there's an offensive foul. Must have been a travel against Kevin Fletcher. Turnover for the Jaguars. It's number 15 on the night for the Willamette Valley Jaguars.
Well, that's great defense right there from Grant County, applying high pressure to that ball handler when he just didn't have eyes on the defender, forcing a turnover.
Gold races past the defense and lays it in. 6-point game. Fletcher gets downhill, and a foul on the floor going against the Red Tails. It's on English. English's first personal foul of the game. Now Tavion Johnson checks into the game with a wrap around his left elbow. And this one's tapped out of bounds again by English. 13 to shoot for the Jaguars. This matches the Red Tails' biggest lead of the game, which they had in the first quarter, which was 6 points. The Jaguars looking to cut into that. And now a technical foul here going against the Red Tails. Looks like it's on Alante Gold.
I got nothing. I was watching the whole time. I can't really tell what the whistle was for. Gold certainly doesn't seem to know either. Fletcher has to convert at the free throw stripe right now.
Can't hit on the attempt. Fletcher this year shooting over 71% from the free throw line. Today, that's his first attempt at the free throw line in this game. Johnson through his hands. Stolen away by the Red Tails. Looking to add to this lead. Gibson with help from Ajang. Crosses over and lays it in. It was Smith with the putback. Timeout for Coach Mary Stade as the Red Tails have their largest lead of the game in the final critical moments, 99-91, and look to upset this home game at Linn-Benton Community College for the Willamette Valley Jaguars. 4:13 left to play, and we step aside for a break.
Welcome back to TBL TV. Jaguars versus Red Tails. Tavion Johnson has just been taking some crazy hits in this game. At first, it was the elbow to the nose and the mouth that took him out for a little bit. And then off of the rebound, he got hit right in the arm and had to take care of some bleeding so it wouldn't get on the court. And the refs gave him 30 seconds to do so, or else they wouldn't let him back in the game. But in those times that he has been on the sideline, it has been cheering on his team and getting healthier. And now we will see him back in the game and hopefully helping the Jaguars get back on top. Isaac, Devlin.
Thank you, Ashley. Red Tails have turned it on in the last few minutes in this fourth quarter. Jalen Gibson currently leading the team with 21 points for the Grant County Red Tails and 5 players in double figures in scoring for Grant County. Denzel Smith with 19 points, still playing with 4 fouls, so he's been a lot better at not getting called for fouls in this second half. 12 points for Alante Gold, 16 for Chase Culpepper, who has come off the bench, provided a spark for the Red Tails, and then Tayon English with 10. Devlin, Red Tails have not been stopped the last few minutes.
Certainly not. The Jaguars are kind of letting them get whatever they want at the moment. That's not their brand of defense. They need to get back to being physical and attacking the ball up high at the perimeter. Right now, they're trying to attack just a bit too late into the possession, allowing them to get to the rack before they really initiate all that contact. Something that I'm looking for if I'm the Jaguars is that Sarian McGee just checked back into the game. One of the biggest players, certainly the biggest player, but one of the biggest scorers for this Grant County team, and he's got 5 fouls.
Gibson trying to go through Johnson. And Gibson gets the call on the foul. Tried to hammer it down, but he will go to the line for 2 attempts. Good recovery there by Tavion Johnson, though, and good effort on display.
Certainly great hustle back on the defensive end. That's something that Tavion Johnson could be 0 for 20 in the game, could be doing everything that would put a player in a mental slump, and we know that Tavo is going to hustle back on defense. It's just the kind of player he is.
He has 3 games this year with 10 or more points, make it 4 as he's got 11 on the night. And Jalen Gibson leading the way for the Red Tails and leading the game with 23 points. 10-point lead for the Red Tails as Mix takes his time inside, puts it up, and can't hit, but Fletcher there for the putback.
Good cleanup from Fletcher down low. Jaguars really need to clean it up, taking the ball across half. Whitfield is feeling a lot of pressure. Somebody needs to be a pressure release on that backcourt defense.
As Gold, a runner in the lane, it won't go. Begging for a foul call, he won't get it. Whitfield crosses over, but can't lay it in. Too strong on the layup. Smith finds McGee and nearly stolen away, but a whistle and a foul on the floor. That's foul number 5 in the quarter for the Jaguars. So McGee will go to the free throw line.
Well, that's certainly a tough break from Tavion Johnson. From the angle we saw, it was pretty clear he got all ball, but once again, a play like that where you put both arms in onto a player, and if the official doesn't have a clear view of that, all they need to see is the defender's arms going towards the ball. It doesn't matter if you get ball or not. If the official doesn't have a clear enough view and you can't make it absolutely obvious that you are getting all ball, it's an easy whistle.
Give McGee 11 points as he puts the Red Tails back up by 10. And there's a whistle. Some sort of foul. Must have been against the Red Tails. Didn't see who that call was on.
may have been a warning against the Jaguars bench. There was certainly some conversation between them and the officials.
Whitfield in trouble to Johnson. To Stevens. Asking for help, 9 to shoot. To Johnson. He puts it up. It swirls out. And Smith comes up with it. And Johnson with the effort and the denial. It'll stay with the Red Tails. But wow, can Tavion Johnson fly?
Superman out there for the Jaguars. I swear every block that Tavion Johnson has is just as much of a highlight reel clip as the last.
Makes me feel like I'm at a loss for words too. As a pull-up J from Denzel Smith gives the Red Tails a 12-point lead. Whitfield in the corner. Attacks down the baseline and lays it in through contact. Quick score that the Jaguars needed, and the Red Tails looking to play spoiler and add to a double-digit lead. Smith inside, no contest, and he lays it home. And now an illegal screen against Johnson. Gives the Red Tails possession right back. And this one slipping out of the fingertips of the Jaguars.
Willamette Valley certainly watching this one go further and further out of reach. That foul, Tavion Johnson, 6th. He's got to head to the bench. So we see Messiah Ford check into the game once again for Willamette Valley. But now 2 minutes to go. 12-point deficit, all the momentum in favor of Grant County. Jaguars certainly cannot be happy that it looks like they are letting this one slip away.
Gold double team to English. Defended by Ford. English down the baseline, lays it in. 14-point lead for the Red Tails. Their largest of the game. In the most crucial spot, as this one's ripped away by Stevens. Gold lobs for English. Off his hands, McGee, though, lays it in. Fletcher on the other end, 1.5 minutes to go for the Jaguars and a lot of work to do. That'll help. Fletcher closes the margin. 111-97. An identical score to the last time these two teams played. 111-97, the final here just under 3 weeks ago. Gibson trying to add to that advantage, but can't. Whitfield, he'll pull up from 3. Off the heel, Gold there for the rebound. Inside 1 minute left to play. But a turnover here and a foul against Grant County, so it'll be Jaguars possession. But a lot of work to do and not enough time to do it as we head to Ashley down in the sideline.
Thank you, Isaac. Tensions are pretty high on the court right now, and the Jaguars bench has been that they feel like referee treatment has not been fair. Assistant coach Jordan Sanders was called on a bench warning for a question she asked, and the other ref said he felt for her and guided her to ask him questions instead of the other. It's times like this where simple calls are going to make a big difference. Back to you.
Thank you, Ashley. And you look at the free throw numbers tonight for the Jaguars. Just gotten in the line just 18 times. 13 for 18, shooting 72% on the night. And then the Red Tails, 25 for 31. So the Red Tails have almost doubled the amount of free throw attempts the Jaguars have gotten. As Ford has it for the Jaguars. Elbow jumper, won't go. Tipped out by Carter.
I think one of the big turning points in this game was the moment that Jalen Gibson got going.
He hasn't had a huge scoring output tonight, but 23 points. He started this half with just 9, and he's got 5 steals on the night. He's forcing turnovers, as well as Tayon English. Tayon English has only been credited for 2 steals so far today, but it feels like he's had a hand on at least 10 different passes from the Jaguars, really making his mark felt as this one officially slips away from Willamette Valley.
Messiah DeAnthony Ford collects the last field goal made for the Jaguars. It's his first points of the season. And English will dance around in the front court, take his time, and let the clock run. 113-99 the final. Linn-Benton Community College, the Jaguars had a 13-point lead in this game. Let it slip. And in the fourth quarter, the Red Tails come alive and come out with a 14-point win. Devlin, in that fourth quarter, what did you think is the difference?
I just thought the biggest difference was it seemed like the Jaguars got away from their game. Turnovers started to become a bit of an issue because they really just couldn't find a comfortable shot. That wasn't a problem for them in the first 3 quarters. They were getting good looks. Certainly not all of them were falling. But in that fourth quarter, they struggled to find quality opportunities to score, especially around the hoop. It resulted in a lot of turnovers, a lot of almost panicked possessions. But really, Grant County just turned up the heat on the defensive end and were applying way more pressure than we saw the previous 3 quarters. Again, those 5 steals from Jalen Gibson. It was only 9 steals total on the night for Grant County, but it felt like they should have been credited for about 20 in that fourth quarter alone.
And now to help us recap this one, we bring in the Grant County Red Tails head coach, Elijah Macon, who Ashley Davidson is with down on the floor.
All right, Coach. So coming back from a half where you guys were down and now taking away the win, what was working for you in this half?
Just how I said at halftime, just more of taking care of the ball. We was getting to our game plan towards the end, taking care of just slowing down the ball, knowing that we was in control, just finish out the game and not get sped up.
What are you guys looking to, learn from this game going into your guys' next one?
Just taking care of the ball, honestly, cutting back on our turnovers, and just rebounding more, honestly, leaving the refs alone, and just playing our game, having fun.
Well, great. Thank you so much, Coach. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Ashley, and thank you, Coach Macon. As the Red Tails and his team improved to 8-5 overall on the year, they sit at 4-4 on the road, and now have a 2-game winning streak. And Devlin, these teams are going to get to know each other very well. The next 4 matchups for these teams against the next 4 matchups for the Red Tails are against the Jaguars. So another home game for the Willamette Valley Jaguars tomorrow. Tip-off at 6:30. And then Grant County returns home on Sunday to play the Willamette Valley Jaguars. And then they get a bye. And then who do they face 2 weeks later?
I bet you I could guess.
Yeah, the Willamette Valley Jaguars in Grant County. And that one will be a good one. So these teams are going to get to know each other very well. For the Jaguars, they dropped to 1-5 overall on the year, still sitting at 5th in the Western Conference in the Basketball League. Dropped to 1-4 at home, and now a 4-game losing streak. And good news for the Jaguars, they get another crack at it tomorrow against this Red Tails team. Certainly had a lead and felt like they were in control of this one most of the way, but just ultimately Devlin couldn't finish it in the end.
This Jaguars team has played some great basketball, and they've done a lot of that for 3 quarters. Something that we talked to the team about is just stringing together a complete game of complete basketball. And today, it got away from them a little bit in that last 8 minutes of this game.
Well, Ace Stevens steps up in the place of Micah Johnson Jr. and has a 22-point night to lead the Jaguars. And what a day for Ace Stevens for the Jaguars and Grant County Red Tails. And that'll just about do it here on TBL TV and Next Move Radio. A lot of people to thank for making this one possible. To our camera operators, Elliot Watzaga, Ash Worley, Jaron White, and our graphics operator, Ronald Boucher, to our director and producer, Emmett Burris, to our sideline reporter, Ashley Davidson, to my analyst and color, who will be handling play-by-play duties tomorrow, in Devlin Christensen. I'm Isaac Doobie saying aloha and good night until tomorrow. Tune in on TBL TV. Tip-off at 6:30 here at Linn-Benton Community College. You're listening to TBL TV and Next Move Radio.